welcome to this video. Today we will learn how you can use the comparison operators in Python and also the logical operators in Python. This is important for the next coming lessons because in the next coming lessons we will learn a lot more about if statement, a lot more as I mentioned. So we need to go step by step, okay? Just to not skip any step and in the future for you to have problem. So if you're a beginner, if you're watching this video, okay, I want you to go back to watch the previous video so you can learn about how you can create variables, data types, and how you can uh get the user input and also how to display information on the terminal. Okay, so let's get started. The comparison operators compare two values and return either like true or false. That is what it does. For example, let's say we can have a comparison operator right here. Let's see if we have equal to, okay? I'm sorry, equal to. And this is how it works. For example, let's say if we print 5 equal to 5. I'm sorry. 5 equal to 5. That means we ask, is 5 is equal to 5? If that is, it will return true or false. Let's see what will be the result. Okay, it returns like true because 5 is equal to 5. Let's try to take another example. Let's say 5 is equal to 7. Okay, let's see what it will give us. Okay, it returns like false because what it does, it checks. Okay, is 5 is equal to 7? No, 5 does not equal to 7, and it returns false. And remember what I've mentioned before. I mentioned that the comparison operators, okay, compare like two values and return either true or false. Okay, so this is what you need to keep in mind. And then let's take another example. Let's take the not equal to, okay? Not equal to, okay? This one, okay? So now what we will do, we will check if we can check to like values. We can check like 5 does not equal to I'm sorry, does not equal to 3. Is 5 okay? Is 5 does not equal to 3? Is that true or false? Let's check, okay? We'll check. That is true because 5 does not equal to 2. I'm sorry, it does not equal to 3. Okay, so that is like true. Okay, and now let's take another example. Does like 4 does not equal to 4? Is 4 does not equal to 4? Let's try to see what will be the result. I'm sorry. Let's see what will be the result. It is false, right? This is the last one. It is false because because 4 is equal to 4, and I check is 4 does not equal to 4, and it should return false. Okay, so that is what you need to keep in mind about when it comes to the comparison operators. Okay, and then now we will check another one. We will check the greater than. Okay, we check the greater than, greater. Okay, than. We can say print, okay, 10 superior at 5. What will be the result? Okay, is 10, what it does, it will check, this is the sign, okay, for the greater than. It will check, does 10, let me put it right here. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, this is the greater than sign. It does 10 is equal to is superior at 5. Let's try to see what will be the result. Let's print this one. Okay. Okay. Let me no. Let me uh okay. You will see this one will be the last one. Okay, the last result. So I don't need to do that because I can keep all the code. That is true because 10 is superior at 5. That is true. Does 10 is greater than 5? Yes, 10 is greater than 5. That is true. We can take another example. We can say does 3 is greater than 20. Let's see what will be the result. And then let's try to see. That is false because 3 does not superior at 20. 3 does not superior at 20, and that should return false. Okay. And then now as we take the greater than, we take the less than as well. Less than, less than, okay? Less than. Okay, now we can check. Let's say if we print those 56 is less than 2. We will try this one. Remember, this one will be the last result. Okay, I don't need to comment this code to comment this one. I just go with this with the last result to check. Okay, what's happening? Okay, that is false because like 56, okay, is not less than 2. That should return false, of course, yes. Okay, and we can have also the greater than or equal to. Okay, let's say if we have like greater than, it will be this one, greater than or equal to. This is just for beginners, so you can in the next coming videos you can well aware of what we will do. And then these are just quite easy, okay? And then we can say print 10 is greater or equal to 10. What do you think will be the result, guys? Does 10 is greater or equal to 10? Let's see. Okay. The terminal will not lie to us. Yes, it is true because 10 is greater than or equal to 10. Okay. So this one you need to keep this in mind, okay? And also now we can see another one which is less uh mm, I said greater than or equal, I'm sorry, or equal, okay, to. Okay, let's come right here. We can say less than or equal to, right? We can print does 5 is less than 5, or does 5 is 5 is less than 5 is less than or equal to 5? Okay, let's see the result. That is true because false, if the false does not, if 5, I'm sorry, 5 is inferior or equal to 5. That is quite obvious, and that is like easy, okay, to understand. And then it is like 5 is less than or equal to 5. That is what you need to keep in mind, nothing else. Now I need you to keep in mind this one, okay? I will write this in capital later so you can have you can pay attention to what I will say. Important. This one, the difference between, like, this is something many beginners like mistake and they do not understand. They confuse sometimes. This one, right? This equal means, okay, assigned to. For example, I can create a variable called like age, and then I assign it to 35. Okay, so this one right here means equal to. Okay, this one right here means equal to, and then this one, okay, and then this one, when we say this one, we what we do, we check is equal to. For example, we can check print 25 is equal to 25. Is 25 is equal to 25? Okay, let's check. You see, that is true because 25 is equal to 25. You need to keep this in your mind, okay? To not get confused as a beginner, because this one confuses a lot of beginners, and I don't want you to get confused, just to let you know. Okay, as we have seen about the comparison operators, now let's learn about the logical operators, okay? Logical operators. Okay, for the logical operators, what you need to understand is first the AND logical operators, okay? This is a logical operator. This is the AND one, okay? So for that to be true, okay, both conditions must be true. When you use the AND logic operator, for that to return true, both conditions must be true. Let's say if we say, let's say if we say, it doesn't matter. And true. What does that return? That will return true. Okay? This is the last one that will be printed. I don't need to comment the previous codes. Okay? Okay, that is true. Okay? Because for the, let me write this right here. Let me write this. Both conditions must be true. That's it. This is what you need to keep in mind. Okay? And for example, let's say if we might say a print let's create a variable called age. We can create a variable called age equal like 48. Okay? We say age superior at 18 and age is inferior at 50. What do you think will be printed to the console if we say this? Age is superior at 18 and age is inferior at 50. At 50. Remember, for that to return true, both conditions must be true. Okay? And let's see. This will be the last result. Always. Okay, that is true because the age is 48, right? Is 48 uh superior at 18? Yes, that is true. And is 48 like inferior at 50? Yes, that is true. And it returns true. That is quite simple. And now we can learn about the OR logic operator, okay? Or I write it right here. It should be encapsulated. Or logic operator, okay? Okay, so for that to return true, for a condition with the OR logic operator to return true, at least, let me write it down right here, at least one condition, okay, must be true, okay? One condition must be true. And then let's take an example, okay? Let's say if we say true, okay, or false, okay? Let's see what it will give us. That will be, as always, that will be the last one that will be printed to the console. You see, it is true because for the OR, when it comes to the OR like logic operator, at least one condition must be true for it to return true. Okay. And then we have also the NOT logic operator. We have like NOT logic operator. When you use the NOT, it reverses, okay, the result. Reverse, okay, the result. Reverse is the result. Okay, so let's say we can print not true. What do you think will be printed to the console? Not true. It is false. Not true. It reverses the result. Let's say not false. Let's see. Not false. What do you think it will be printed to the console? Let's see. It is true. You see, it reverses the result. Okay, so now I believe you understand. Let's summarize, and then now let me write a quick note right here. Let me remove the last one. Okay, tempo shoe table. Okay, what you need to understand is like we can say shoe and shoe, okay, is equal. Shoe and shoe will give us like true, okay? And then we can say true and false, okay? Will give us like false, okay? False. And then we can say false and false, okay? Will give us false. And if we say like false and true, it will give us like false again. Okay, but now what if we say true? Okay, true or true. True or true will return like true, or let me write it this fast. True or false, which we will return like true, because as soon as one of them is true, it doesn't matter. It will return true. False or false. Okay, it will return false. Okay. Oh yeah, that's it. False and false or false will return false. Okay. So now I hope that you have learned a lot of things. Okay, you have learned a lot of things, and then you you will be able to write your code when we will start writing code. And mm, do we need to take an example? Let's see. Okay, that's it for this coding exercise. Now for this video, that's it. Okay, and then in the next video we'll learn about the if statement in Python. So happy coding, guys. Do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching the video on YouTube, and if you're watching on Facebook, do not forget to follow us for more. Happy coding.